Hello, this is Joe from MomFit with Joe Peters. Welcome to the Spanglish World Network and Her Network on Single TV channels 250 and 251. Please remember to download both the Single TV app on the respective app stores, iOS and Android devices. While you are downloading, make sure that you rate and leave a comment. The app is free. Single TV is available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Fire TV, Roku, and Roku Stick in all smart TVs since 2016. Welcome to this amazing episode today. Today, we are going to concentrate on something that bothers and a lot of moms to be and new moms struggle, and that is our cravings and our hunger. And one of the things that it's important is I want you to, if you don't have a notebook or a pad or something to take notes, I want you to really quickly go and take a pen and a pad or a notebook to take notes, because the information that I'm going to share with you today is going to actually help you immensely for the remainder of your pregnancy and the first 12 to 18 months of your baby. Are you ready? Let's do it. So, we are going to be talking today about the concept of eating and how we, as new moms, as moms to be, are very confused, because it's almost like if society gave us a free pass where we are pregnant to actually eat and eat and eat, and it doesn't matter because you are eating for two, you are eating because you are pregnant. And the first thing that I want to tell you is that is a myth. You actually are not eating for two, you are actually eating for one and a quarter. But then the other one is why that hit us so much as females, why that had so much power on us. Because unfortunately, we are in a society that is completely covered with diet mentality, that is completely covered with expectations on females that are sometimes not even realistic or reachable. And then society is being keeping us as females in this hamster wheel where we are trying diet after diet after diet after diet after diet, failing, and then unfortunately feeling bad about ourselves, feeling bad about how we feel, feeling bad about what is wrong with me that I cannot do this diet completely. Also, we start feeling, especially in pregnancy, we start feeling powerless about our cravings. Like, I want you to actually put in the thing that you are writing down, how many cravings you are having now that you're pregnant, or now that you're a new mom. What are some of those cravings in the middle of the night, in the middle of the day, that you're like, Where is this coming from?" And we are going to learn that and learn how you can actually go from a place of powerless with those cravings to actually understand where they are, and understand the connection on how those cravings are used by you, thanks to the brainwash of society, to soothe your emotions. So instead of deal with emotions, we learn to actually push them down with food. And then this is one that is very important, because you are transforming your body, you are transforming your soul, you are transforming who you are. And it's part of that that we are able to look at the mirror and like what we see and feel confident about what we see, feeling confident about this beautiful goddess body that is building this life, that is nourishing this life when the baby is here, that is finding how to survive without a sleep, with the sleep deprivation. And then one that is very close to my heart, because two things that moms, new moms, moms to be struggle a lot with are energy and sleep, right? We as moms, even as pregnant mom or new moms with babies, those are two things that we don't have much of. We don't have a lot of energy, we don't have a lot of sleep. And unfortunately, what we are eating is fighting against us to have even less energy and less sleep, and get us in that continuous hamster wheel cycle where we keep eating some of those foods thinking that they are giving us energy, that they are helping us to sleep, and actually what they are doing is depleting us even more. So we create that pattern, that cycle, that addiction to those. So all of those things are things that we're going to cover today. I'm really excited to give you specific tools about how you can handle that and how you can handle something as basic in our history as hunger. Okay, so we are going to be learning about a lot of things today. One of them, that the first one that I want you to know is during pregnancy and the 12, 18 months after you have a baby, it's not recommended that you do diets, that you do a diet. And the reason for that is diets are designed to force your body to release what your body is not ready to release. One of the reasons why they fail is because you are not working in partnership with your body. You are forcing your body, you are restricting your body to actually release what your body is not ready or not capable to lose or release. And one of the reasons, that is a very important reason, because that is why diets don't work. Actually, lately, there are being a lot of studies that show that the average person, after finishing a diet, gain back all the weight that they lose with the diet, plus in average 3 additional pounds. And it's almost like an elastic band. When you are doing a diet, you are stretching the elastic band, and as long as you had it stretched, it stays that long. But as soon as you release it, the elastic contracts back and go back to what it was. And in the case of diet, you even gain 3 pounds more from what you were. I'm telling you that not to feel discouraged. I'm telling you that so you can start understanding why they don't work, why it's not a good idea that you go there when you are, hopefully never when you're pregnant. But I hear it all the time with some mamas that are not feeling good with how they look after they have their baby, and then they think that the only way to feel confident about themselves, to feel confident about their body, to embrace their body, is going into this crazy diet that the reality is going to make them feel worse, because these diets are not sustainable long term. There is not a one single diet in the world that you can sustain forever. Usually what happens is you sustain them for a period of time, and then as soon as you stop doing them, the weight come back. So diets are not the answer, but will that mean that you just are hopeless and then you are going to actually not have any option? No. It means that we need to learn different tools to actually eat in a more intuitive way and pay attention to what our body is telling us. Remember, people don't fail diets, diets fail people. You didn't fail a diet, that diet failed you and failed to give you the tools and the understanding and the holistic approach to allow you to actually do it in a sustainable, easy way. Okay, so why you are thinking like, why, but Joe, but diets are so famous and so popular, but you are telling me that they don't work, but the diet industry and the food industry keep recommending it. Yeah, because it's a multi-billion dollars per year business. So they want to keep you in the loop of keep doing diets. They are interested in keep doing it over and over and over and again. Why diets don't work? Because you are counting calories. Again, you can do that for a period of time, but that is not a sustainable way. You're not going to be able to count calories for the rest of your life. So if you're counting calories, yeah, you could actually count, but that is one danger with that. And is that when you are counting calories with things, with some of the diets that I'm not going to say their brands and their names here, but some of them are just counting, but they are saying like a calorie is the calorie is not the same calorie depending on the food. For example, a calorie on a banana doesn't work in your body the same way that a calorie in an ice cream. But when you are in the mindset of counting calories, you just count, oh, I eat 1 calorie. You don't stop to think, okay, this calorie come from a banana or from an ice cream. So that is one of the first ones, one of the reasons why diets don't work. The other one is because diets are pushing you into the concept of exercise as a solution. So restrict yourself eating, and if you are treating yourself, if you are eating some food that are not good for you, that are not supportive to your health, the golden grill, the no, I don't know how you say it, the sign, the magic result is go and exercise, go and burn that. Actually, I was talking with a client this week, a private client, and she was telling me how she had the urge to eat a donut, and she eat the donut, and then after that, she read how many calories, counting calories, the donut had, and she was like, "Oh my god, I will have to do this much exercise to burn this calorie." So that keep you in that loop that again is not sustainable. Then the other one that is very common is eating less. If you eat less, you're going to release weight. That is what is called calorie restriction or calorie deficit, that a lot of diets are based on. Oh, you need to do a calorie deficit so that your body has to, you force your body to burn some of the fat that it has because you are not eating enough to function. That is what it means. You are telling your body, we don't have enough food for us to burn into energy to function. Why that doesn't work? Because you cannot live in calorie restriction all the time. Or you could, but then you're going to start actually putting in jeopardy your health, the health of your organs, the health of your tissues, the health of your muscles. So calorie restriction is actually one of the most scary ones. The other one is, and then for this one and the next one, for us females, especially us females in motherhood, is even worse. I'm going to talk about the next one and come back. Fasting will help you to lose weight. And that is, I see some moms and I just want to pull my hair off. I see some moms that are building their baby, that are building their breastfeeding, and are doing intermittent fasting for like 16 hours, 18 hours. And that I want to be very clear with you. The vast majority of intermittent fasting results are based on males. And there is something very different between males and females, and that is called hormones. So we don't react the same. But now, around fasting and around calorie restriction, we as females are designed genetically, our body is designed to actually hold into fat, hold into our weight when we don't feel safe, when we have cortisol, when we are stressed. And both calorie restriction and fasting for very long windows of time will send the message to your brain that you are not safe. We don't have enough food. And then I want you to take this trip with me back into our origins when we were in Africa millions of years ago. We were in Africa millions of years ago, and I told you several times my stories about being with the Hadza tribe in Africa a few years ago. And then the reality is, we live in these communities, in these tribes, and we have very specific roles. And then the role of the male was the hunter, the male was the provider. So the goal of the male was going outside, hunt an animal, kill an animal, and bring that food to us. Then the role of the female was gather root veggies, gather fruits, take care of the kids. So a male, when a male don't have enough food, like intermittent fasting or calorie restriction, is not such a big deal for them, because in their DNA they always know that they can go and hunt an animal, and that will be fine. For us females, if we don't have enough, then our body is not like males and, oh, look, we just always can go to hunt. Our body starts saying, oh, what if the males don't come with food anytime soon? What if we are not finding enough fruit veggies? We cannot eat enough. We need to save and restrict what we have in our body right now, just in case. So it makes a very strong block with how our body DNA history genetically is designed to do. Okay, then the two the last one is using willpower, and that is why I'm gonna give you six tools to start moving away from willpower. That sounds good? Because willpower, I'm not telling you that we will never use willpower. Willpower is a very powerful tool, and is one of the tools that we are the only beings in the world, in the universe, that can do. Is that decision of thinking and making a decision and having willpower to do or to not do. And willpower was not designed to be a long term solution. Willpower was designed to be a short term solution. Willpower was designed to help you to start the process and then after that, not use it anymore. But with diets, because they don't work, because they don't fail, you have to rely on that willpower. And I'm going to give you a secret about willpower. You have a tank that get consumed on that decisions and that willpower. That is one of the reasons, if you are not familiar, I want you to Google it. Some of the most creative, brilliant minds in the world choose to wear the same clothes every day. I think that Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, was the first one to introduce this concept. And the reason for that is because they understand that you have every day you have enough, you have a limited amount of willpower. Every day you have a tank full of decisions and willpower. And as more decisions you make, as harder at the end of the day is keep making decisions and keep having the willpower. That is one of the reasons why in diet we are good using the willpower until we get to a situation in our life that we need to take a lot more of decisions so that that tank gets depleted. And when that tank is depleted at the end of the day, that is when we go for the ice cream. That is when we go for the chocolate cake. Make sense? So it's important that we understand that we have a diet. And I want you to start thinking on diet instead of how social media and society is being brainwashing us. They are brushing us to say, okay, diet is something temporary that I do in order to lose all that weight that I gained during my pregnancy, or losing all that weight that I gained during breastfeeding because I was having a lot of lactation cookies, or losing all that weight that I did on my baby moon vacation. So we think about it as something temporarily that we do to actually lose that we don't want. And I want you to move from that into thinking of diet as a lifestyle. Every single being alive in the planet had a diet. That is a beautiful, beautiful story about elephants. And the the story is beautiful on the content. It's not beautiful because I'm against circus and zoos, because I think that is not fair ethically with the animals. But stay with me. So when they start having elephants as part of the zoo and some circus, they start finding that the animals were dying. The elephants were dying a lot sooner than what they were when they were living in the wild. And they start researching about it. And then what they found was that in the wild, the elephant was eating a lot, like 3,000 pounds or something like that, of grass every day. And then that grass had, because they were eating it from the ground, that had bugs and earth and dirt and a lot of other things inside that grass versus the food that they were giving the elephant in captive in the zoo. As soon as they start mimicking as close as possible what the elephant was going to eat when he was in the wild free, the elephants start living as long because they had a diet. Imagine that if you take a lion and say, oh, you know what, I don't like much your diet of eating meat, so from now on you are going to actually eat just legumes and fruits. That lion is going to die because that is not his diet. Okay. And I want you to start thinking of the same with us. We have a diet that is developed and was developed for us as humans. So what it will take for you to start moving from diet is something temporarily that I do to lose what I don't want into I, as a human, had a diet that is the best way for me to thrive and survive and live life. Make sense? Good. So the first thing that I want you to know, and I want you to write this down big in a mirror, in your refrigerator, in your phone. Listen to me. It is impossible to lose weight long term if you are hungry. And that is exactly what happened with diets. When you are doing a diet, the majority of time you are hungry, but you are restricting yourself from the food. You are counting calories. So you are actually sometimes even losing the weight, but you are losing the weight while you are hungry. And that is one of the big reasons why it doesn't work. Because as soon as you stop, your body's like, we are being hungry for 20 days, 30 days. Now you stop this nonsense. Let's gonna just make sure that we have everything that we need. So I want you to put it very clear in your house. It is impossible. It's not possible to lose weight long term when you are doing it while you're hungry. But you're going to tell me, but I'm hungry all the time. And if I eat every time that I'm hungry, that is why I'm here. That is why I have 20 pounds to go. That is why I have 30 pounds to go. Now that I'm breastfeeding, I'm hungry all the time. So what are you telling me, Joe? You're telling me that if I satisfy that hungry, then I will be able to release um, weight? Yes, because it's not about you satisfying the hunger. It's about what you use to satisfy that hunger. And one of the things there is that I hopefully by now you know this, and I have actually in my Instagram I have a free download with 77 names of sugar that you are more than welcome to get for free. But hopefully by now you know this, and that is around the 40s, 40 50s, with some research and development, the food industry find out that sugar had a very specific result and impact in your brain. And what does absolutely, Ambika, is calorie density what matters. Absolutely, I love that, thank you. And what they found out was that sugar create addiction. Actually, one of the things that happen is they start making some scans and they start finding that sugar will have the same reaction in your brain that heroin and cocaine does. And I'm going to pause because your little brain is going to be like, that's not possible. And I'm going to repeat it. Sugar, refined sugar, will trigger in your brain exactly the same spot from the addiction perspective that heroin trigger in heroin addicts. And when they found out that, they were like, we found a golden mine. We can actually put this in almost everything that we sell, create addiction, and make people want to eat more and more and more and more from the addiction perspective. Actually, one of my clients is an executive in one of the 100 companies in the world. And when we were talking about this, she started like almost tearing and said like, we hire an executive from a food company. And one of the first times that she talked about her previous job, he actually was like proud about saying how good was feeling for them knowing that they could make foods and create chemically recipes that will create addiction in people to the level that they will always buy their products. That's scary, I know, but that is the reality that we are living on. So when you are hungry all the time, the first thing I want you to know is what I'm eating. And then the second thing that I want you to start thinking about your diet is, If you're hungry, it's because your body's saying we don't have enough of what we need. We don't have enough of the nutrients. We don't have enough of the vitamins. We don't have enough of what we need. Please take care of me. Please take care of us. We are growing this baby. We are breastfeeding this baby. If we are hungry all the time, that means that our body is saying, what you are giving me is not working. Because a lot of that food is um, empty. What Gambika was saying is not dense, are not calorie dense, are empty calories. Okay. I'll tell you one thing that was very close to my heart when I started breastfeeding, and this is one of the worst things that could happen because also trigger other things. When you're breastfeeding, there is also a multi-millionaire business about breastfeeding products. And then as soon as you start breastfeeding, they say, okay, to increase your supply to be able to breastfeed, that by the way, is another talk, but they are triggering your vulnerability on trying to know that you are doing enough milk. And they don't teach us what is enough. So we are always in that fear. I'm not going to have enough. I don't have enough supply. And then what they give you? The lactation cookie, the lactation banana bread, the lactation cake, the lactation bread. And you know, want to know what is number one or two ingredient in every single one of the lactation products that are food products? Sugar. Why? Because they know that your hormones are all over the place. They know that that sugar is going to make you want to eat them more. And the sad part is eat more, gain a lot more of weight, and that sugar also will trigger at a deeper level your chances to get postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety. So what we are going to do with all this, how we are going to take back our empowerment, our control. I'm going to introduce you to the concept that you have not one, not two, not three, but six different types of hunger. This was mind blowing to me when I learned it a few years ago. The reason for that was because I grew up in Colombia and we only have one hunger. You feel hungry, you eat. If you feel hungry, you eat. The reality is you have six different hungers and they all are sharing something different to you, but because you don't know about them, you think that the only solution every time that you are hungry is eating. So let's go deep into these six hungers and how you can start noticing them, controlling them, and feeling empowered about them. Number one, thirst. Why thirst is a hunger? Because now we have these beautiful bottles of water. Now we have the refrigerator that we can put the glass and get water. But our ancestors, millions and millions of years ago, didn't have access to that. The only people that had access to water were the people that were living closer to rivers or closer to the ocean. That is one of the reasons why a lot of early societies, you can see them and map in the world very close to water intakes because they need the water and it was not available very easy. So the body was so smart that the body said, okay, what else had water on it? Fruits. Fruit had like more than 50, 60% content of water. Some fruits like watermelon are like 90% water. Veggies. How many of you are ever biting a tomato and then getting all the juice of the tomato coming out? Or a cucumber, how moisture it is. So your body's like, okay, we are not very close to a river. Let's gonna trigger that hunger. So we go and find some fruits and some veggies so our body can have the water that it needs. So when you are feeling hungry, sometimes you are just thirsty. And I will tell you this plain and simple, mama. Breastfeeding moms probably are some of the best ones on this statistic just because one of the things that they told us, if you want to breastfeed you need to drink water, but over 75% of the population are dehydrated. I will repeat that. Over 75% of the population are dehydrated. Oh, the first hunger is thirst. One tip that you can do every time that you feel hungry, you maybe are thirsty. Go and have a glass of water and see if after 15 minutes your hunger disappear. Thirst is the first hunger that you need to take a consideration. The second hunger is a hunger that is based on one of our human needs. We have six human needs that are going to be part of another beautiful show. But one of those human needs, one of those things that we as humans need in our life is variety. And we crave variety. We crave variety as an evolutionary protective mechanism so that we don't rely on only one food all the time. It's almost the concept of don't put your eggs all in the same basket. When we were living millions and millions of years ago, our body was like, it's not smart that the only thing that we eat is carrot, because if something happening and carrots are not coming, then we will be in trouble. And that came into that place of having variety. From the mental and emotional part, we need variety to thrive as humans. And I love my tanks. We have a tank for willpower. We also have a tank for variety. We have a tank for variety that we need to fill. And when that variety tank is filled, we feel happy and excited and joyful about life. And that tank of variety was for centuries and centuries filled with probably over 80% experiences and situations, and around 20% with food, because we were having different activities, different explorations. We never knew what was happening the next day. And then the food industry realized that. So, like, we have all this tank of variety, and we are only filling 20% with food. We are leaving 80% of the tank on the table. They didn't like that. They were like, why we don't just move from 20 to 95% with food? And the food industry start with commercials, with propaganda, with advertising, brainwashing us that the only way to have variety was with food. So sometimes when we are craving and when we are hungry, maybe what we are craving is our body telling us it's time for something different. We are being eating the same. We can change this. And then one of my biggest tips that I work with my private clients, if you are a little bored of what you're eating, or if you are feeling cravings, or if you are hungry, start thinking how much variety I have in my life. And then I want you to write this down. Add variety to your life before you add variety to your plate. And I know, mama, that as a new mom, as a pregnant mom, that is hard. I hear you. With a newborn, with a 2 month old, Joe, where we are going to have time to have variety? I'll tell you that variety could be very simple. You are not having to go and jump from a bungee jumping in the middle of a bridge to have variety. Actually, things like, if you are right handed, start brushing your teeth with the left hand is variety. Paying attention to how you dress. If you put your socks before your pants, start putting your pants first and then your socks. So there are small things that you could do to start adding variety, and then start thinking. A lot of us normally are very narrow into what we eat. We don't explore much outside what is normal for us, and that is depleting our variety. So to recap, hunger number one, thirst. Hunger number two, variety. Hunger number three. Hunger number three, the other reason why you are feeling hungry is low blood sugar. And low blood sugar is actually very common now because of the amount of sugars that we are having. Actually, is mind blowing, but the refined sugars are 100 to 150 times more sweet than natural sugars. And they take our body into a roller coaster. That is what some of those low blood sugars are. How you deal with that low blood sugar, if you are feeling that you are hungry, is make sure that you are not having a lot of empty calories, highly processed sugars in your diet. As more of those you have, as more of this hunger you're going to have, because as what is happening is your body needs to function. We were talking about this before. Your body needs to function, and the only way that your body function is with energy. Your body burn energy, and the body burn energy from two sources. Your body can burn sugar to get energy, or your body can burn fat to get energy. So if you are having a lot of these high levels of sugar, then your body is burning, 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 and then almost like a roller coaster collapse and say, "Oh, we are getting low on all these super refined, super processed sugar. We need to have more." And that is the roller coaster that I start feeling, that you start feeling. And then how you can, instead of doing those deep ups and downs, how you can start trying to make it a little more steady is try to concentrate on what I call your healthy fruits, your healthy sugars. I want to be very clear with you. I'm not saying that sugar is bad, and that is one of the diet approaches that really hurt us, because there's people that are afraid to even have a fruit because, oh, sugar is bad. Sugar is not bad. They are healthy sugars, good sugar, healthy sugars, and they are sugars that are not supportive for your diet, that are not supportive for your health, that are the refined sugars. So instead of having some of those that are not supportive, start moving into good, healthy, supportive sugars like fruits, root veggies that actually are around there, around you to help you to thrive. And also, by the way, help you with thirst, because when you're having fruits and veggies, you are not only helping your variety, because there are different fruits, different veggies, different colors that help with variety. When you see different colors, that helping with your low blood sugar, and they're helping with your thirst. So when you increase your fruits and your root veggies, you are actually already hitting three of your hungers. Now, this one is big. Hunger number four, emotional hunger. This one is the most common and dangerous form of dysfunctional eating. The reason for that is this is not even a real hunger. None of them are real hungers. Emotional hunger is the result of, like I was telling you before, the food industry knowing how they can be more profit. And what they did is they found out that in your brain, right here, very close to your reptile brain, the place where you have your memories is very, very close to the part where you have the process of eating and food. So, what is happening is that food, since we are little boys and little girls, food start being a representation, an icon, a token of memories and emotions. And I will give you a very big example. How many of you think that it's very weird to have a birthday without a cake? Yeah? You're like, if my it's my birthday, like I need a cake. Like, what do you mean that we're not going to have cake for a birthday? I want you to go with me down on the time machine and remember what we do on the first birthday. The first birthday is probably one. I just have my baby's first birthday 2 weeks ago, so I experienced this for sure. But it is, you have, is a very special event for parents, for grandparents, for friends. And then what happened is there is time to celebrate the birthday of the baby. So everybody comes around, everybody's looking with love, with eye loves, everybody's looking with kindness and compassion. And then everybody starts singing and clapping, and everybody attention is around this baby. And this baby is seeing all these beautiful emotions and all these people giving him attention and love, and that is getting him some happiness hormones and endorphin and dopamine and all these beautiful feelings. And right at the end of that comes the birthday cake with a candle. So actually, a lot of what we crave for a birthday cake is not the birthday cake, is that feeling there of being there for people, or being there for having them with us and having them to love ourselves and having us to get there's a baby saying that he wants mommy, having us to get that emotion, get that memory. So emotional hunger is the most tricky one because for some of us for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, we are being used to it to eat our emotions, eat our memories, eat what we feel. And the reason for that, and this is one that is very powerful, I want to walk with you a little bit, and that is your emotions. And we have a guest that was talking about this. Our emotions are not good or bad. And that is one of the biggest mistakes that we have. We label emotions as good emotions and bad emotions. And the bad part about that is when we label emotions as bad emotions, then we try to avoid them. And how we try to avoid them is we try to eat to make them feel better. How many of you are actually sometimes eating because you are depressed, or you are stressed, or you are sad, or you are bored? And then what I'm gonna tell you and invite you to think now is, instead of that, is how you can actually allow your emotions to flow and to feel, and to allow yourself to um, thrive with your emotions without label, allowing yourself to feel it. This emotional hunger is very tricky because the food industry market to that emotion. I don't know how many of you, I used to be a Coca-Cola drinker many, many years ago. I used to have breakfast with Coca-Cola. And one of the things that I remember about the Coca-Cola commercials, advertising, is they are all about emotions. They are all about friends and family and love and sharing and kindness and the polar bears. They are triggering specifically our emotions so that when we are in lack of those emotions, we associate some of these foods to satisfy those emotions. So that emotional hunger is a very tricky one, but is one that I love to work with my mamas, with my clients, into how we can get freedom from that emotional eating, how we can get freedom from that emotional understanding of what is going on. Make sense? That baby is not happy. That is life, right? I think my nanny forgot that I'm having this show and didn't take him for a walk. Okay, the number 5 hunger is empty stomach hunger. And this one is really weird because we don't ever like to feel hungry, empty stomach, right? But I want to tell you that empty stomach is just a feeling. And it's a feeling because when we were living when we were living in Africa, it's really hard to concentrate when your baby's crying. But that is motherhood. Let me breathe a little bit and center. Walking the talk. Babies cry are meant to trigger us as moms to react to them. So it's really hard to hear your baby cry. So, okay, empty stomach hunger. Okay, what is happening is when we were developing our stories, we were actually designed to get a signal when our body was hungry, when our body was needing for more. Um, and so the stomach was shrinking, 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 and telling us, oh, there is need for food. The stomach is empty. Let's gonna try to find food. Because back then, it was not as easy as driving 5 minutes and getting food. Back then, when your stomach was empty, was a signal for you to say, start looking for food. And that starting looking for food will last several days, sometimes several hours. So that empty stomach is just a feeling. And it's very powerful when you start actually noticing and say, okay, is this empty stomach? It's just a feeling telling me that my stomach is a little shrink. Our stomach was designed to expand and contract. The issue is that now, because we have so much food all the time, we almost never allow our stomach to contract to the original size. Make sense? So next time that you are having empty stomach, I want you to actually play with it and say, okay, is really hungry or is empty stomach? And then one hack that I had, if you are not very sure about empty stomach, you can use the water and the thirst as a test. If you're having empty stomach and if you have just a little bit of water, that weight of the water in the stomach is going to help you to actually feel like it's not hungry anymore. Make sense? And then the last one is nutritional hunger. And this one, actually, I need to tell you, this one is the only hunger that is a real hunger. This is the only hunger that actually is real. And this is the hunger that is asking you for nutrients, that is asking you for specific vitamins, minerals, and nutrients for you to thrive in life. But our body is being taught to eat anything that is inside. And this is what I was talking before when I was telling you that sometimes when we are breastfeeding or pregnant, we are hungry all the time. If you're hungry all the time and you start working on the other five hungers and you still are hungry, what it's saying is that what you are eating is not feeding those nutrition requirements that you need as a new mom, as a mom to be. And then you are eating empty calories, you are eating junk foods that are actually not giving anything to your body to replenish, to actually get better, to actually fulfill. So it's very important with that nutritional hunger that we understand that first is the only hunger, real hunger. Second one, that we need to start paying attention on, even if I'm nutritionally hunger, what I'm going to put in my body to satisfy the need for those vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. And that is when I was telling you before about the difference between calories. I can have a cup of ice cream, I can have a cup of banana. The two of them are going to satisfy the empty stomach, but are they both are going to satisfy the nutritional hunger the same? That is why when you have a cup of ice cream, very soon you are hungry for more because your body's like, oh, we just eat. But we all that you eat, we only were able to use 10% to actually get our nutrients. So we need more. And that is why you get into that cycle of eating more and craving more and craving more. So these six hungers are probably one of the most groundbreaking tools for you as a mom to actually start paying attention, to start anchoring yourself into. First, it's not only one hunger, but when I'm hungry, start playing with curiosity. Which of the hungers it is? Which of the different options is the option that I have right now? Which of the hungers is the one that is talking to me? It's almost like, I don't know if you hear this, but it's almost like when they tell you that you need to learn to understand your baby's cry and that every cry means something different. And then at the beginning, when you have a newborn, you are like, what the heck? Every cry sounds the same. I don't understand. But as more you start playing with your baby, as more as you start spending time with your baby, as more you start paying attention to how the cries are different, as more you start actually understanding, oh, this cry is when a little bit of hungry cry. This cry is a little bit more like tiredness cry. This cry is a little bit of boredom cry. It's exactly the same with the six hungers. At the beginning, you're going to be like, Joe, this is crazy. And I want you to actually watch this again and again to keep moving it and keep reinforcing the concept. And as more you play with them, as more you work with them, as more you get used to it, to how they work, as more you are going to be able to find them and realize, oh, yeah, I know the difference between these hungers. I understand that this hunger is just telling me that I didn't drink enough water. Oh, I understand that this hunger is just telling me that I really need a hug or I'm feeling really sad instead of having to eat. So, all that is important, Mama, because part of my job as your unicorn mama coach is to help you to get the tools to thrive in the marathon of motherhood, the badass mom that you are. And that starts very simple and very plain. That starts with your body and your health, because as better your body and your health are, as better you're going to be able to show up for your baby, as better you're going to actually be able to take care of your baby, as better you're going to be able to take care of yourself. So how I see it is, we are, and I'll give you this analogy, my husband is a Lego geek, and because my husband is a Lego geek, my baby is a Duplo and Lego geek, and I'm learning to, I already learned to love Legos, but it's almost like when you are building a Lego tower. You are pulling blocks. And the first couple of blocks of any tower in our life of motherhood are around our health and our well being. How we are taking care of our body, especially, this is for everybody, but especially in those 9 months of pregnancy and 12 18 months of the baby's first time in life, because that those 2 3 years are years that we are giving a lot, we are giving a lot to the baby, both physically with nutrients and giving the baby everything that it needs for the baby to grow, but also mentally and emotionally. And then it's even more important that we feel back our base, that we feel back our health, that we feel back our body with what we need to make sure that we are going in the right direction and we don't get into the place that we feel depleted, that we feel that we don't have anything left, that we feel that we don't have anything more to give. And that goes a little bit into the emotional, the sleep deprivation, the mental. And trust me, Mama, start with the foundation of your health, of what you are eating, of how good you are nourishing your body, how good you are nourishing your body so that your body can nourish your baby. So I hope that this was a helpful overview of something as fun as six hungers, and give you something to thought about and say how you can make better choices. Actually, super excited to start a program with a small group of moms early in September, where we're going to be going deeper into this and see how we can make a plan and make a sustainable way for us as mamas to learn how to thrive in the marathon of motherhood, with eating for us and eating for our children. Because the other thing, that why I'm so passionate about this, why I love this, is our children, our babies are learning in the first 7 years of life over 95% of all the beliefs and all the um, patterns that they are going to have for the rest of their life. So, as more we as moms win, as easier will be for us to actually win our babies and give our babies the life that they deserve, that we know that they deserve and that we want for them. Mwah. This show can also be heard on the Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out www.spanglishworld.ca for all the news and programming. Spanglish World. Watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and leave it.